Parmenides, who I mentioned, and I think he's in the book as well, briefly, in the first chapter. I'm going to just repeat a couple things that I said, just to make sure I didn't missing anything. He was, I think I said this already, he was a metaphysicist. He studied metaphysics, but maybe not in the way that you think, talking about is this real and all that, like, is what we're experiencing real? And he talked about it differently, more in the sense of how do we know that things are real? How do we determine that? And he came up with this, hopefully you have a few notes already, but this, he didn't come up with this, he did some kind of a simple analysis of it, which is referred to as an argument by elimination. And this is commonly done not only in philosophy, but in science, I would imagine as well, of, what are the possibilities? How many different ways can this go? And you kind of go through your list and say, well, okay, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth. All right, that's not really possible. Let's look at number 2. So we mark number 1 off the list, look at number 2. But when it comes to proving or knowing, that something exists, like this, I think is an example, this little rock here, or this thing of drink that weighs about 6 pounds. Good Lord. The price of insulation is quite heavy. I don't know who this even is. I don't know. But we look at that and we notice that it's probably some kind of drink, insulated drink thing, like a Yeti knockoff kind of. Well, this is the Pelican. Not Yeti, this is the Pelican. I think if Yeti could probably tear a Pelican apart. Don't you think? Like in a head-to-head matchup. All right. So you look at that and you think, is that really there? How do I know that's there? Well, Parmenides said there's 3 possibilities that I mentioned on Friday. It is. It is not. And the possibility of it having existence and not, it is and it is not. Okay. Wow. So he starts with number 3. He says, as he thinks about it, it's impossible for something to have existence and simultaneously not have existence. Something either exists and doesn't exist, or it's one or the other. Yeah, it's either one or 2. Later in, when Aristotle comes along and develops formal logic, this type of statement, or basically we'll say this, a statement that contradicts itself within itself. Politicians are very good at doing these things, and you're not quite sure. And all of a sudden, some people think they're on this side of the issue, and some people think they're on that side of the issue, and they're both equally right in thinking so because they just, dazzled you with their logical fallacy called a tautology, which is what I just said, a statement that contradicts itself within itself. Different than an oxymoron, let's say, right? Which I love oxymorons, right? Jumbo shrimp, military intelligence, country music, that's one of my favorite ones. So what I did was, for you guys, and for the other class too, because it's not you guys, it's not me, it's you guys, is I've put in a, let's just try this, okay? Yeah, how you like that? I've replaced you guys. Here we go. That's it. You guys can just zoom in the rest of the year. I'll just have canned laughter. What about this? Kind of starts like that, and then it turns into this, right? There we go. I like that. Okay. Yes. Anyone else know any other oxymorons? I'll play the laugh if it's funny. Right? Pretty ugly, that's an oxymoron, right? That's pretty ugly. Okay. It's not an oxymoron. This usually is in a larger statement, but within that statement, you're contradicting what you just said earlier in the statement. So number 3 is not possible when it comes to reality. Something either is or isn't. Both simultaneously is really a metaphysical impossibility. Number 2, he goes to next, or just how he addresses them from 3 to 1. It is not. Well, he says actually the most about number 2. It is not. He says about this, he says, it's impossible for a person to think or speak of something that is not. In fact, he says, he goes further to say, it's a failure to think or speak at all if you think you can talk about something or think about something that is not. It's impossible to think or speak of something that is not. And he explains why he says that. Because, he says, once we begin to think about something that doesn't have physical existence, we begin to think about it, we begin to talk about it, we begin to give it characteristics, we begin to give it life, so to speak, then it's no longer and is not. It maybe doesn't exist in the physical world, but it does exist at least in the world of concepts or ideas, and it takes on an existence. If I were able to stand here and talk about square circles, and I could, describe them to you, maybe even draw I can't do it, but a diagram on the board and all that. Well, diagram would pretty much prove it, right? But I could talk about it, and I say things like, well, boxers get into a ring all the time, but it's not really a ring if you look at it. I don't know, you wouldn't want proofs right there. It always looks like it's square to me. Maybe it's on television, it kind of, I don't know, but I've never been to a real boxing match. I did have a student who did MMA one time. I went to one of his fights. So. Yes, he did. Yeah. State champion wrestler, too, by the way. Mr. Jones was not too happy about that. About him doing. And he's still doing. He's in Vegas right now. I see him on Facebook. He's fighting in some fight. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, theirs is more like a different shape thing. But so it is not, also becomes an impossibility. Because once you begin to talk about it, and once you begin to give qualities, characteristics to it somehow, it becomes, it is. But maybe not in the way you were thinking, but at least in the way that you begin to think about ideas. Let's try this here. Hold on. Yes. Good. Or more like this. Yeah. That I can get without a button. Okay. All right, let me say a little bit more about this. And I'll come back to this just in a second. Say we say like some literary character or some film character, and we know that that character doesn't really exist, right? They're not a real person, if it's a fiction novel, let's say. But if someone were to walk into your English class where you're discussing Hamlet, let's say, and they didn't know who Hamlet was, or they didn't know this was an English class, or they thought it was a history class maybe, they might be pretty convinced that Hamlet was a real person. Because you guys talk about him as if a class would talk about Hamlet as if he really existed. So he doesn't, you guys know that, but why does he have any kind of existence? It's because we've attributed a story to him, a set of characteristics, a kind of a personality type, that we could say, depending on how much you analyze the story, And all of a sudden, any casual observer who didn't know any better, Hamlet's a real person. So let me do this quick little, I don't know what to call this, exercise here. Now, I did it last year, and I think I might have disappointed a couple of kids because the parents hadn't talked to them yet about the realities of Christmas, the metaphysical reality of Christmas, right? So everyone's parents pretty much revealed in some way that, yeah, it is hard for Santa to be at every mall in the city at the same time. That kind of stuff, right? Okay, I don't want to. Do you want to leave? Are you okay? He's having metaphysical cognitive dissonance right now. What? What? No, let's just assume that we know that. By the way, there really was a St. Nicholas. He was a bishop. He's a contemporary of Augustine, older than Augustine. St. Nicholas of Myra is the impetus for Santa Claus. And he really was a very virtuous person who did drop gifts of money, gold coins, down the chimneys of homes in the Roman Empire, or air shafts or something. And he put the money in, guess what he put it in? Socks. He put it inside of socks. Yes. All kinds of parallels to where we finally get today to Santa Claus. Okay. He went to jail for a long time also. So, a lot of saints go to jail at some point. Okay. I'm going to pick somebody here. You have to engage me for a little bit. Let me see. Should I be random about it? Or Jed, I'm going to pick on you. Now, I have the feeling that a lot of you are going to want to jump in and help Jed, but I'm asking you please restrain yourself and let Jed do this on his own. And when Jed is out of answers, then we'll go with somebody else and see if we miss anything. Jed, I want you to tell me everything you know about Santa Claus. Everything. Here we go. Things that I can write down.
He lives in the North Pole.
All right, residence, North Pole. What else?
He has all the reindeer.
He has reindeer. I'm going to ask you this. And don't anyone help him, because you're going to want to help now. Do they work for him? The reindeer?
They work with him.
When you say he has a lot, how many does he have?
9.
Okay. Can you name them? You were counting them off there?
No, I can't.
Can anyone else name the reindeer that Santa Claus has? Give me any names, you know. Rudolph is one, okay. What else? Rudolph? Dasher, keep going. Dancer. Prancer. Vixen.
Cupid? Yeah.
Donner.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of Donner? Lucy? Blitzen. Thunder and lightning in German, by the way. Donner and Blitzen. Lucy knew that.
I
Yes,
said
she did.
Donald or something.
Oh, I thought you said Donner. Donald's not one of them. That's fictionalized.
Cupid.
Cupid.
How many are we at?
I don't actually know if there's 9, to be honest.
There are 9, according to what we know about them. We need one more. I think we're missing Comet. Okay, between all of us, we came up with all of their names. Keep going. What else do you know about Santa Claus?
He gives presents to children.
Which children?
Small ones.
Good one.
Good ones.
Presents to good children where? Where?
In their homes.
But like in what part of the world?
Everywhere.
North America.
Just North America. He's only North American thing.
Everywhere.
The whole world?
Yeah.
Muslim children too?
No.
Okay. Wait. I'm just asking.
They don't believe in.
I'm not discriminating. Santa Claus is discriminating, not me. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah,
Christian children, and is he doing this like year round? Like, you know, he makes the round. See, you guys are already part of it. I asked you, Jed, is he doing this like year round, like February and July and?
Raise children. They're Christian.
Okay, Christian children, good.
No, I said erase it.
Okay.
He gives them to all children.
All good children, all bad children?
All good children.
All good children. Okay, fine. Is he doing this year round?
Only on December 24th.
All right. So one day a year, he visits all good children's homes and delivers them gifts. Okay, what else do you know about him?
He gives cold to bad children.
Bad kids get cold. You ever know a kid who got cold? No, I mean, I know some bad kids though.
Did you get cold every day?
My parents threatened me. My parents threatened me a lot. Bad kids get cold. Where would they get cold? Like just like handed to them, or
It's in a stocking.
okay, coal and stocking.
He goes through the.
And where are those stockings? Jed, where are those stockings?
They're on the,
Like in your sock drawer,
the mantle.
hanging from the mantle, with care. Keep going, Jed. What else do you know of this guy?
He comes through the chimney.
He enters the home, enters home through chimney.
He has a
So
wife.
it's not so much breaking and entering, it's just entering.
Yeah,
All right. So please, go ahead.
he has a wife named Mrs.
Oh, what's her name?
Mrs.
Oh,
Claus.
that, of course it is. He's married. Marital status, married. Mrs. Claus. Okay, go ahead.
He has little minions. They're elves.
Okay, what do these elves do?
Make the presents.
Do they get paid?
No.
So slave labor? Sweatshop. Elves and they build toys.
Yes.
What else do you know about him? What does he dress like?
He wears a red
All red?
fur suit with some white on it.
Okay, red with white trim.
He has a big beard.
Hold on a minute. White trim. What about a hat?
He's got a hat.
What color is that?
He's also red with white trim.
Red, white hat. Beard. Is he pretty lean, like a long distance runner?
He's a heavier guy.
Heavier guy. What else? Does he smoke?
Yes.
What does he smoke?
Pipe.
Yeah, with regular pipe tobacco in it, kids. None of that funky stuff. It's hard to get that up in North Pole. He's the only one up there. Except for a bunch of nerdy scientists, I guess. Smoker. He's a smoker. Smokes a pipe. Good. What else? Does he wear a belt? He's a big guy. A lot of big guys wear belts.
Yeah.
What color is the belt?
It's black.
Not a karate black belt. What about shoes? Does he wear just like loafers, or
He wears black boots.
people just want to jump in, don't they, Jed?
Good.
I tell them like 4 or 5 times.
You seem really bad.
Give him a chance to think about it. It's September. He's not thinking about this yet. Jed, what kind of shoes does he wear?
He's got boots on.
What color boots?
Black.
Black boots. All right. Now, how does he get to all these children? That'd be tough to get to all the children in the world only in one single night. How does he get there?
He rides in a sleigh.
Sleigh. That seems reasonable in the North Pole. And how? Was he got like a dog team, or
Yeah, the reindeers pull it in the
they
sky.
pull it? But how do they get over the ocean though?
They fly.
Sorry, say again.
They fly.
You're starting to sound metaphysical now, aren't you? Like in the other way, like the.
It's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
Santa's fault.
Reindeer fly, so they pull so the sled flies too, because the reindeer are pulling it.
Yeah.
Reindeer can fly. Okay, what else do you know?
He's an arch nemesis.
Oh,
Big Grinch.
okay. All right, that's debatable in history. I'm going to put it on here, though. I don't know. What about, does he wear glasses?
When he's reading letters from kids.
Sure, so he wears glasses. How does he know who the good kids are and the bad kids are?
He's a really big list.
Okay, what does that list tell him?
Who's naughty and who's nice.
So he knows who's naughty and nice. Have kids ever spotted him in their home before?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never let him dump bed.
All right, but typically kids don't see him, right? That's kind of the deal. He arrives
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, breaking into your home. And so what would you say about that? My parents used to tell me if we stayed awake, he wouldn't come.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, yeah.
If they were awake, he never showed up.
All right. So somehow he knows. How would you put that in words? He knows when you are.
And he knows when you're asleep.
It sounds kind of creepy all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, right? He's coming down the chimney. He knows if you're bad or good. He knows if you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Wow. Okay, go ahead. What else do you have about him?
He has a big sack of presents.
Okay, carries a sack of presents. I was going to ask you here. Go ahead. Anything else? Okay. How does he get out of the house?
He has a freaking sled.
How does he get out of the home? How does he, yeah, we did.
Oh.
How does he get out of the house?
Serious?
Jeff, you're on top of
Front
it.
door.
He leaves through the front door.
He eats cookies.
Oh, I'll get to that. How does he get out of that? Goes to the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone disagree with that?
I think he goes through the chimney.
I think he goes back up to the chimney. Let's leave that open for right now. Let's go back to what Lucy said. Is he, what's his favorite food?
He likes cookies and milk.
So that's his food and drink, cookies and milk. Loves that. What else?
His reindeer eat carrots.
Okay, all right. Anyone else want to jump in now? You're just bursting here. What else do you know about Santa Claus?
He gives the people leave carrots for the reindeer.
Okay, leave food for the reindeer.
Rudolph has a red nose.
Aha, okay. Food for, I'm going to abbreviate reindeer, RD. And Rudolph, why does he have a red nose? The what? To light the way, because it gets foggy up there in the North Pole. And they're traveling at night also. So like on an airplane, those blinking red lights at night, Rudolph is just like a beacon to light the night, to light the way. So we know a whole story about one of the reindeer. What else do we know about Santa Claus?
Well, he has a new one. It's chosen.
Okay, is that accepted dogma? Is that,
There's a movie about it.
there's a movie, series of movies, The Santa Claus, Clause. What else? Surely we know more about this thing.
I feel like these are pretty good.
It's a good list. It's a good list. How does he know what kids want for Christmas?
They send him letters.
All right. So he has a P.O. box or something, right?
There's seven in his house.
All right. He receives letters. Okay. Does he have any aliases he goes by? Or does everyone call him Santa Claus? All the time. What else does he go by?
I don't know.
Anyone else know? Come
Saint
on.
Nick.
Saint Nick. Anyone else? What's Saint Nick short for?
Saint Nicholas.
Okay. What else do they call him? Kris Kringle. This actually comes from German and from Dutch. From the word Christkindl, which means Christ child, and then Kris Kringle. And sort of somehow that got changed into English to Kris Kringle. Any other aliases? What's he like? Is he like a tyrant with these elves and his mom? What's his personality?
Jolly.
Jolly? They call him Jolly Old Saint Nick, I've heard, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you know about his personality? Does he like to laugh? Not as much as you guys do, right? Does he like to laugh?
Sometimes.
Oh, he's jolly. Okay, likes to laugh. Good. What else? Anyone else want to jump in here? Other things you know about St. Nicholas? Anything else? About what he does, what he looks like, his personality. Okay. All right. Well, so here's my reason for doing this. It's a pretty good list, actually. If you look at this list, and you look at all the things you know about this figure, who has no physical existence, by the way. Sorry, kids. But you know all these things about him. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say something about this. I would venture to say that you know more about Santa Claus, aka St. Nicholas, aka Kris Kringle. You know more about Santa Claus, who doesn't exist, than you know about some people in your life that you call a friend of mine. What do you think? Yes,
That's accurate.
I would say so. So Parmenides, Lucy, may not be so far off here. You know more about Santa Claus than you know about people you call friend. Some people in your life. This is actually quite a bit of stuff you know about this guy. I mean, I can't even tell you what my good friend's dog's name is unless I'm there and it kind of hits me. But you guys were able together to come up with 9 different names of his reindeer, all of which don't exist. Reindeer exist, but that's quite a list of things for something that doesn't exist. And Parmenides would say, although he had never met Santa Claus or never had a chance to celebrate Christmas, he would have said, yeah, that's because once you begin to do all this is quite detailed, all of a sudden, Santa Claus has taken on an existence of some kind. He's with us in some way. He's no longer just a figment of our imagination. He's somehow, he is. Right, and certainly to little kids. They believe it. They know the truth. All right. So again, if we look at like a character, let's say like, I'll go back to Hamlet again. We could use somebody else too, who doesn't have a physical existence, but we could say, well, he's a prince in Denmark. He's maybe depressed. At least he's we call him a melancholy. He's very indecisive. He doesn't seem to be able to decide when but once he does kind of get on the right thing to do, he really acts on it. Yeah, his mom's got a weird thing going on with his uncle, and all seems a little suspicious. What happened to his dad? Hey guys, please stop. And so, all of a sudden, very quickly, Shakespeare takes on a existence of some kind. So we're not talking about just physical existence, like, is this rock here or not? Yeah, there it is. I can touch it, feel it. Okay. But also the world of ideas. And so when I mentioned on the last day we were together, Friday, that this is now begins kind of showing the power, or the use at least, I won't say power, but the use of the verbal argument as opposed to the empirical argument, so the rational as opposed to the empirical. Parmenides is that kind of shifting point then, where, and the power of the argument becomes important, and also the concept of the world of ideas, and equating the world of concepts and ideas to the world of things, to the world of the physical realm. This becomes also important. The world of ideas becomes really important as we begin to talk more about Plato and Socrates and those people. Okay, good. I'm actually going to stop there because it just would be a weird place not to stop. I'm going to say that we'll probably take a test of this material. Well, I'll probably have to stop and then move on to the next material for a couple of days and then have the test over this material because it'll be, I need to check and see they change the testing dates. Plus with A and B, I don't know how to do that any differently. So, I have to give 2 tests, I guess. So let me double check about that. But I'm going to think later next week, middle next week, be ready anytime. But our quiz, I don't want to have it be, right on top of the quiz, but that is possible. Yes, what about? Yeah. These are so fun. So glad I got that speaker here. I can hear all this. What about? Oh, here's one of, sorry, I'm a little bit obsessed. How about this one?
China. Russia.
Yeah.
Don't be rude. No, not you. Don't be rude. Russia. I hire people. They do a website. Don't worry. Everybody's got something to say these days. We're going to grow our economy. Thank you very much. Everybody's got something to say these days.
I got Barack Obama and Trump right here. What's that? Oh yeah, right here in this little round thing there. Just waiting on that other thing.
Russia. China. Russia. I hire people. We're dying. I will be, and we will make. You want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with? No, not you. Don't be rude.
Okay, don't be rude, kids. Oh, we're not that far off.
Where?
What's that? Just looking for Ben.
Paper book?
Right here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.